series.
I think it was too.
So very threatening.
Yeah, it is indeed. Now we are getting into the bans for game number 1. At least RNG are on the blue side. They ban away the Caitlyn. They ban away Shun's Vi. So that'll be his most played champion of the spring split taken off the board. Just as he said, it's crazy how they do that. It is Ashe and Wukong, though, banned away by BLG. So utility and some facilitation away from the mid, I guess the bot lane and the jungle for RNG.
Yeah, we mentioned if teams are feeling nice, they'll even remove away the Kindred from Shun. Annie off the table as well. Varus up. Expect that to maybe be the first pick, but Jax was actually left up, so
Let's
RNG
go, the priority of the top
happily.
lane.
So what that says to me is Bin's just gonna throw it down, and he's gonna give us something like a Fiora, or he's gonna give it. He might end up actually going to.
Look at it. Look at that smug. Look at
what I
him.
will say, he's very smug, is that Sejuani has to be locked up now. Because if you give over Sejuani, Jax, and RNG want to play towards the top side and leave Gala and Ming on Island, they'll do it. And more than likely, it's very hard to find the 2v2 that will beat Jax plus Sejuani in the early stages. There's just too much CC and burst damage in combination with one another. So they'll take that one away and ensure it doesn't go over.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, Varus there if they want it, but we'll have to see what BLG prioritize.
When we came into this one, right, like we obviously know that Gala and Elk are huge late game carries for their teams, right? You just look at their stats and they're a huge part of how late game, late damage percentages come into play for them. But it is about the rest of the map until that comes to fruition here. Now, especially so since the Zeri is picked up for Elk to be able to get that late game hyper scaling carry that we've seen already piloted to much great success, at least today. Lee Sin, though, locked in for away. And we get a little bit of a classic coming through for him. The Rise also, and we're looking at a top side focus in the first phase for RNG.
Yeah, and you know what? I like this call out from RNG because if you're looking at BLG, you're saying, you know what? You probably want to go Lulu or an Enchanter on 3, right? So let's lock in our whole top side. And if you want to pick up that Enchanter, you're going to lose, at the very least, mid lane pickups here. And for BLG, they just say, you know what? We're going to take the Fiora. I mentioned it earlier that Bin would be the kind of player to go towards this matchup and throw that gauntlet down. And he will now. RNG have the opportunity to strip away some of the better support matchups with Zeri, and then they'll still be able to pick up whatever duo they want. And BLG have to split the bans or focus heavily on one and leave the other available.
I'll just say, though, RNG are coming out flex heavy. You give way his Lee Sin, you are asking for trouble, and I'm very excited to see how he pilots this one. A classic for him, but also his most played champion and competitive. And now we got to see how they kind of pick apart the rest of the map for BLG in these bans, at least in phase 2. We get the Xayah, so hyperscaling kind of answer with the Zeri, not going to be there, but some focus on bot lane with the combo of the Zeri as the Lulu banned away by RNG.
You know what I also want to mention is I wonder if RNG make a call out to a Galio ban here, because not that necessarily Galio and Sejuani are like a threatening duo by any means, but if BLG are going to want to give space to Elk whilst also simultaneously trying to match the global pressure that Rise can put down on the map, it could actually be an okay pick for BLG to go towards. And we know your Gal is very happy to go towards utility every now and again, so it could be something that RNG consider as ban here, something that BLG could also be considering as a pickup, as Aphelios will also be joining
just
the
like,
ban
all right,
table.
Gala, you got no late game scaling. What are you gonna take? Is it the Sivir? Are you gonna bring out the Sivir? What do you got? What you got?
It's about the only thing left up in the hyper scaling department, right? I mean,
hey, what do we say about Lucian? They scale with skill, maybe Gala.
Whilst the Gala would make it scale quite excellently with skill, I don't think it's necessarily the call here.
I don't think it gets this comp. You want to take that? I feel like it's terrifying now that the Akali is locked in.
Oh, Gala Kai'Sa?
This is a classic. We've seen it hovered. We actually had it banned earlier in our first series as well.
Do it. I don't think I've been able to see Gala Kai'Sa all split long.
Emperor Palpatine style. Do it.
Oh.
Okay, well, hey, maybe that's a little bit of confidence coming from RNG, because I was feeling you definitely don't want to play that into this kind of low range, into this competition. They will murder you. But they say, you know, let's skill check it. Let's see if we can rise above that bar of execution needed as the Lucian Nami locked in for RNG. They actually picked all their champions in the right order, by the way. It's going to be the Renata locked in for BLG as a response. We've seen it rise in priority.
Yeah, we have definitely seen it come out in a couple of different spots where you feel like maybe there's not really room for something like a Karma and if Lulu's gone, sometimes you'll just see this Renata slotted in. So curious to see how it will do in this bottom side matchup specifically, because I feel like the burst damage sort of patterns that the Nami Lucian will play into, it might struggle with. But whilst we kind of jest, and you know, I'm sure everyone in chat is also probably very bored of Nami Lucian in the bottom lane, I think it probably plays a pretty big... Nah, never. But I mean, I think it plays a pretty big bridge here for RNG if they can use it well, right? Get it to that one item spike, move it into the mid lane, and then you've got Jax and Ryze on sides to, you know, kind of win out their individual 1v1s. And if you've always got first move from mid, you can bleed that pressure so heavily into sides, into neutrals, that it is actually a pretty good setup bot lane to throw to the mid side of the map. So they'll have themselves some prior in the bottom side to work with, because in the mid lane, they do also have it too. So Wei should have kind of pick of the litter in terms of plays and where he wants to move on the map in the earlier stages.
Then on the other side, Shun, on the Sejuani, we've seen Sejuani be so active, but having a lot of places you can go. We were talking about baskets available here, but Shun does also have that. So maybe a little bit of reactive play to come through and try to find something to stop and maybe slow down Wei a little bit here.
Excuse me, I was taking a sip of my coffee.
Oh,
I need it.
Well, we're getting into it now. So get your drinks in, get everything ready to go, because we're on to the Rift for our final series of the day. This kickoff of week number 8. It's RNG versus BLG. We're looking at that Breathe versus Bin matchup, but especially now what these junglers are going to get up to early on.
See, this is why I love you, Mazel. You always catch me when I trip. And like you say, the jungle focus is going to be a big point of contention here. Lee Sin.
Did the crowd wake up?
I think so.
I hear some scattered cheering.
Here and there. I think after game 1. Oh, okay. Got a full-blown cheer. I like that from the crowd. But,
by the way, I just love every time. It never gets old. We've been remote casting the LPL for so long. And every time I see the fans in stadium, while I wish I could be there, I'm so happy that these players get some cheers, get some love, because that is what it means to be part of a competitive sport, and it's incredible. I know I'm going to get a little gushy here, but it just means so much.
Hey, no, I mean, I'm there with you, man. I was born and raised in the pandemic esports, which was online broadcasts. So even for me, seeing crowds back in venues and cheering on the players, it has that extra level of atmosphere for not only us, but of course those players on stage who are always going to kind of feel like it's a sixth man on the Rift, right? Hearing the cheers for the plays at times is focusing now on the game, and the bottom side matchup is going to be one we're going to have to continually kind of eye over. Really nice double order there from Gala onto On. Just trying to focus down the Renata glass. Yeah.
So we do see same side starts actually for both junglers. I do expect some unique pathing to come through from Wei, especially trying to find a little bit of something early. We should check in on these solo lanes consistently as well. It looks like Shun should just be going for a quick early path completely through his jungle.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. And Shun could actually 3-camp top here. Breathe wants to play this matchup really aggressively. And it could be a pretty nice window, because Wei looks like he's full clearing the bottom side at the moment. So if this gank comes through on this exact timer right here, even if there's a vision ward, which Shun's gonna dodge.
He's gonna skip it. This is big, and we are saying from Wei,
timer.
But here it comes from Shun, and big timer. Now Breathe wanted the aggression on Bin. He realizes there's something going on, and now here comes a big angry bear around the corner. Nice ward jump though from Breathe, realizing Wei had a Bin coming around the corner, and Shun, he doesn't know as he walks back, maybe trying to trade back, but we have the waiting bush from Wei. He has been waiting for this forever. It feels like a beautiful combo. But RNG don't get the first blood. Its flash is traded from Breathe and from Shun. Bot lane getting a little bit hesitant down here though. Gala, that's the heal forward on. That's a flash almost in the nick of time for Gala to get the damage down, but it is the flash burn and on away from the death early on.
Yeah, just barely. Gala didn't have his W up and available, so wasn't able to actually find the extra damage there onto On. That does force him back, and the pressure is definitely being felt down here. CS lead growing. And this is how you want to navigate a Nami Lucian lane. How often does it really feel like you see this duo like actually win lane these days? I feel like it's always because it's into Lulu lanes, and Lulu lanes can actually stand their ground against Nami Lucian more often than not.
But now you're against Gala and Ming, the MSI 22 champions, and especially a bot lane in the LPL who has just been so star-studded throughout the years. Obviously some lackluster performances this year, but it has still been the bread and butter of RNG for these guys to be a potential carry on the team and be a threat across the board.
And hey, just to kind of derail, if you recall, Gala walked out onto stage. I'm not gonna have to hold the point. Does Wei want a gank on the top side? He does. All right. No.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
We'll come
Go,
back.
go. Quick, before he changes his
But
mind.
he's cancelled his recall, Mazel.
No, before he changes his mind. He's baiting you, Giovanni. He's baiting you.
Gala walked out onto the stage and he put a poster in front of Bin's PC and it says, "Hate me all you want, I don't care about your comments." It's a quote from Bin's Weibo after the loss in 2020 summer from that split. That's what Gala
Let's
did.
go. All right. Hey, I like the detective work there. But especially shout outs to Gala as I thought he put it on Shuns, but love to see it on the bin. Obviously some track record between the squad. He is the MSI 22 champion top laner at least, but now playing for BLG, so a little bit of bad blood there, maybe some fun. And Shun has been spotted out, just chilling in the top side. Wei going bot.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get here. Good flash.
I don't know if they got it. Oz just playing some alcove game. He gets stunned up, and it's delivery on sight as Gala gets his first blood for RNG.
Yeah, Gala gets his first blood. And we said,
wait,
for
was that
RNG,
Oshin?
You said what?
Oshin made that really cool Gala call.
Oh yeah, he did. He did
shout
make
out
the call.
to Oshin. Shout out to Oshin.
That wasn't actually an Oshin reference, but thank you for making me seem like a
we made
genius.
it one.
Yeah,
See, we're here. We're a family here in the LPL.
Exactly. But for Gala, getting this first blood, super impactful. The picture of the top side gank ends up just kind of being a shove out there. Nothing really blown. But we said he's going to kind of act like a bridge, most likely, right? Getting mid lane priority once they have that one item to then move to sides with Angel towards Breathe, whatever it may be. It's going to pay off heavy dividends, and they pick up the first dragon off the back of it. So really good start for a lane that was already winning, Wei, ensuring that it continues to stump even harder on this lane.
Pretty decent CS lead in mid lane for Angel over Yagao as well. As we do see the hover back over bot for Wei, we get those heavy trades onto Elk, which means this lane state is perfectly simple for RNG. They'll continue to try to separate themselves with the CS lead as well early.
Yeah, and it's just continuing
It's like
to go
1,000, more than 1,000 gold just purely off the CS of the first blood.
Yeah, it's really insane how big the lead has grown, and expect now that level 6 is in for Angel that we'll continue to see a bit of a bit more pressure thrown out from RNG down here, as Shun isn't going to get collapsed on for hitting up this skull, but we could end up seeing a bit of a collapse here. Level 6 isn't available though, and that's the big thing for the BLG jungler. Needs that one to really
have
force
level
the
6
plays heavy.
for Angel.
Yeah. Realm Warp usage.
I'm very much looking for Angel. I know we were putting a big spotlight on Breathe versus Bin, but Angel has taken that kind of side lane pick now. Obviously late game scaler, but you need to get proactive once you hit that level 6, connect with the team. And I like that kind of stance for RNG, where that has been the biggest question every time RNG take to the rift. How does Angel integrate into the team further than he already has, being that late addition and a little bit of that tumultuousness involved in the mid lane as well?
Yeah, it seems like for him, it's about mages who can really sort of force the issue early stages. When you think about Angel, you think about picks from last year as well, like Ari. Things that want to, fight in the early stages, specifically around level 6, and Rai is definitely no stranger to that, as Wei steals away the red. Breeve's also on a roam down here, so even if this fight kicks off, Angel's got back
It's a 3v3 brewing though, but they've already collapsed on Angel. He flashes away. There's the kickback, and Wei has saved him. No, you go! He gets the execution on him, and he might go down afterwards. The bailout not enough. Wei gets a return. It's 2-1, but a trade back and forth is skirmishing around mid lane.
Yeah, skirmish around the mid lane. Angel just eats too much damage before he can actually get away. Shark and Flip connected, so Yagao very happily picks up his kill, even though he drops for it 1-for-1. Mid laners both die. The kill credit goes into the Akali's back pocket. Gonna feel alright about that. We panned up to the top side. Bin definitely getting the better end of this matchup in the 1v1 against Bree for now. You see this matchup so often go either way. And the scaling as well is just so So ridiculous on both these champions. But for now, the pressure that Bin is winning will give BLG this Herald, though there could be a bit of a scuffle. Nothing gonna happen off the back
The
of it.
Rift Herald does go over to BLG, though. They'll get a trade in objectives at least. We'll take a look back at that mid lane scuffle, at least, to start it out.
Yeah, so as you can see, Angel just getting hit by the Q and the R there, and unfortunately the CC means that Yagao's able to get the Shuriken flip in and able to chase down on to Angel, who does end up falling 1-for-1 again, like we said, but RNG kind of alright with it for now because the pressure will still remain in favor of Angel. That's not going to change. So as long as they pick up the next dragon after they lost that Herald, I feel like they'll be alright. Yeah, 30 CS almost.
That's a lot. That's a lot in 20 CS bot lane. Again, they are still hovering over about 1,000 gold BLG under 10 minutes here. RNG utilizing some of the early bridge that we were talking about to try to get them further in here. That coming through from Gala. He does complete the Gale Force at 10 minutes and 4 seconds.
If there is one thing I will say, it's that Gala and Ming haven't necessarily hurt that bottom side tower too much, right? Do have a pretty big individual lead, and now with the Gale Force, I expect them to really push the envelope on some of their aggressive trades. We'll see how much they can actually get done, however, of course. Here's the big thing. But to me, for Lucian, for Nami, Mande needs to be there, maybe a Dirk, but I feel like with, you know, the ADC item changes and the Vori second is a little bit too precious to delay, as it were. There's a lot of vision there and a lot of members moving towards the mid lane. Angel should be alright. But this is what I want to see. Stack wave. Hopefully RNG try and use it and dive. Dive the bottom side or use this pressure to go towards the dragon in 15 seconds time. See what the choices are for them once that timer comes up.
Actually, looks like Bin's getting very close to first item. Was sitting on about 2,000 gold in pocket right now. So definitely saving for that first item spike. Look where Shin wants to put that Rift Herald now as well. Gala taking a bit of aggression. The culling coming through onto On just dies! And Gala with the math hammer hits him upside the face!
This is what I'm saying about Gale Force, man. It's just so much extra damage on a combo like that. Now the engage comes in on Angel.
We get the engage on the other side. The Realm Warp, though they maybe get it. Way, he gets out as well. Oh my god, it's a heist, it feels like, from RNG's perspective now. The dragon has been started. I think BLG pull out of this one.
It has to be RNGs. There's no ultimate from Yagao or Shun. Those are two massive skirmishing abilities. Elk and On are about to be here if they need to be. Oh
my god. They're going to hit it. The tidal wave back, though, immediately pulls them through. No. Wave just diving and diving.
This feels so illegal, Mazel. No way.
They're going to keep going for it. Got the smite ready to go. They're going to find the engage, the double bubble as well. Not going to be there. Hostile takeover doing a lot of work. Ultra shock laser on a Gala, and he gets locked down. Elk will find his first kill of the game.
This is a heist. This is such a heist. If they could get this dragon, I'm actually dumbfounded because RNG should be just running at BLG here in that spot whilst Bond's coming back from base. Short Angel gets chunked out, but he takes so long to get back.
Way wants it. Oh, he's not gonna go for it. He hit the dragon. He was like, maybe.
Wow. I mean, massive win for BLG. They deny the potential snowball of that soul, and that's huge. Angel just eating a little bit too much damage, and the engage comes through onto Gala. Blew the cleanse. Honestly, he got more value out of the tenacity that you get for using cleanse because you got hit by about 5 different bits of CC after the initial cleanse. So funny, but for RNG, it's definitely not losing this dragon. As we just get a look at this all in and a bit of T-Tors action.
Does so much damage.
And I will just mention, Gale Force deals like 200 damage on a button press. It's an execute. It's magic. Damn, why? To this day, I'll always complain about it. But yeah, the dashing from Gala is just a bit too suspect. Cleanses the handshake, but gets forced into the berserk, the permafrost. It's just too much. Too much CC, and the chase down is there for BLG. RNG kind of just threw away the opportunity to get that early dragon stack going. Even though it's just the Chem Dragon, at the end of the day, stats are stats. And BLG will be happy to deny that and just ensure that they're not really feeling like they're on a timer of that Dragon Soul.
Yeah, stats are stats. Speaking of, we got a lot of stats coming across the board. Got Divine Sunders completed for the top lane matchup, but that Gore Drinker is there for Way. And I think the biggest thing now is trying to find a power point for BLG to work for. I mean, you have the 1 kill for Elk, obviously late game scaling for you. But now RNG are contesting you at every step of the way, it feels like.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I think BLG have... You know what's kind of funny about both these compositions is outside of the bottom side matchup, they actually function quite similarly. So
yeah.
It's more about, again, you know, the E word, the execution word, and what the allocations will be from both these sides. The only difference really is that for RNG, they should always have a point of pressure through the mid lane with Gala and Ming sitting there. It's really hard to contest that duo, pretty much always. And that should give RNG a bit of an upper foot. So for BLG, like you say, where is the point of power for them? I think for now it's been, but once once Yagao hits that first item, they can maybe look to force a play around him, or they can try and shut down the point of pressure for RNG, which is this mid lane. The options are plenty.
Wei was hovering around the back end here. They do not see everybody waiting in that bush, but they suspect something is up. And Wei will actually try to seal it out, but doesn't find anything here. Rift Herald number 2 is coming up on the board here. I would expect BLG to use this pressure and priority. They've gotten the solo lanes to get this.
Yeah, I think they were really focused there on trying to pick on Gala again because he doesn't have cleanse for a couple more seconds. So even though Ming walked up, they're just like, that's not the prey we're looking for. As they start this Herald, again, they are here first. Gala's basing, so maybe he has an RFC now. He's just happy to just go back to base and call it a day, cancels it. No Cadral. And...
not today.
Not today. BLG will just pick up the Herald for free pretty much. Oh, Gala.
Oh, stepping up for just a moment there. I think he can get a little bit of an engage. Doesn't get it though, but does get the calling out. So not too shabby. Pressure just being pushed into BLG here by RNG, and now we're looking at bot lane.
What will Wei want to do here? We're going to see Shun. He just gets back away. There's no play to be had. Well, you can see, I feel like the intent from RNG maybe starting to come through here, where they just want to make sure that Angel has a really nice time here on the side. Or at least in the 1v1, as Rise has historically been sort of a one-to-one, like, I say this as loosely as I can, like a counter to Akali, right? In the laning phase, you can always spread the spell flux, even if she's in Shroud, so you know it's kind of easy to trade onto her there. And then of course you've got the point and click to try and lock her down, and you deal so much damage that if she can't somehow just completely one-shot you, you're just going to out-DPS her in the long run.
Yeah.
So it feels quite hard to shut down, so RNG maybe just recognizing that, and again, the first move from mid lane is always going to be a thing, so side lane plays should be their MO. BLG though, items are here, right? They've got those first items in. This is where you'd maybe expect to see, you know, Bin, Yagao, Shun, maybe as a trio, get a little bit active. First dragon on first Chemtech dragon spawning. I wonder what the priority will be, because top side, it's just been an island, hasn't it? They've just been there.
It really has.
It's gonna be another 4v4.
It's gonna be the side lane focus, at least for Bid and Breathe, respectively. But we'll see as Roa is getting started, stacking up for Angel. We have Dragon spawning in about 10 seconds. Now they're catching out on. Realm Warp has come through to get Angel to the fight. Wei is just trying to chase him down, doesn't connect it in the end. Should mean that they can engage though. Now Shun goes for the engage. Elk is still there, still on the one item. Gala has his 2. Gotta be a little bit careful about the damage potential from RNG. They try and collapse on the Breathe now, but they're going right back in on Shun. The bubble dodged out of Lightning Crash from Elk. He's getting some AoE down. It's just trades blow for blow here in the mid lane, as Elk able to get a lot more poke down in the end. Rift Herald did get spawned by BLG as well.
Yeah, Shun has to go back to base, so use the Herald to buy a bit of time. They shouldn't be able to kill it before it charges. Ooh, less than 100 HP on that tower. So BLG have a point of pressure there. Breaking that tower is kind of huge. You've spoken about how important mid lane priority could be.
Oh, the Flash Angel! He sets it up, and RNG knock it down! This is a beautiful dragon setup. That's all they needed.
Yeah, just on stepping a bit too close to that brush there. He gets punished. Funny, you saw Ming do the same thing. No one from BLG pounced only a couple minutes ago, and now they're on the dragon. There's a teleport coming in.
TP coming in. They want to contest this. Shun is moving in. 3,000 health. Who's going to get the dragon here? It's not the focus right now. Yagao's on the back line here. Wei's trying to kill. But no, Gala's already down. Yagao executes him. And now the Ultra Shock Laser. BLG are a little bit caught out here. Shun very low, but he's starting to heal back up a little bit. You don't have anything left really from RNG. Tidal Wave is coming back up for Ming, and that's really all the tool you have. So this is Dragon to BLG.
Yeah, BLG get this one, and Yagao just surgically removes Gala from the equation of that team fight. And we said, one item in, that's where we really want to see Akali start to thrive, right? Even get Bin involved, and they did in this case. They have to shut down RNG on that approach, pick up that dragon. And now, I mean, Soul's not going to be a factor for a little while, it feels like. As we get a replay of how it all unfolded, and just keep your eyes on your Gal, really. That's all you need to look at. As it just gets free access in. I think the strike and flip isn't even necessary here. Just R in, auto Q, E back to buy some space. And the rest of BLG just chase RNG away. And no one from RNG could really do anything about your Gal diving.
Now, and you even saw Wave like tried to use his flash to get back as quick as possible to try to get a skill shot, but couldn't get it in time. And there you go. It's the perfect execution as the name states. Now we have Baron coming up, so Vision game around Baron Pit I expect to take a little bit more priority. We already see that happening here, Jamana.
Baron is going to be huge. It's a pretty fast take for RNG once they get that second item available for Angel.
We're getting fights all over.
Yep. Perfect execution was you.
We got fights top, we got fights bottom, we got fights mid. On is gone. The observers, they just can't do anything because Wei is gone, On is gone, and there were fights across 3 positions on the map.
What do you even do? But you know what? Forget who died in that fight. Poor observers, man. They have to deal with 3 fights at the same time live.
Chameleon eyes, go.
You know what you needed there? You needed, you know, the 3 split lane camera. You needed that. You needed that on a button press here for those fights. Jeez, that was really, really crazy. Bin almost takes out Angel. Wei, I think he actually was the one that went in and then got blasted.
They were fighting in the mid on that 3v3 for the longest time.
Yeah,
we just kept going other places.
So Wei, I think he finds another Sonic Wave, then he commits, and then after that, just gets one shot for his troubles, because you kind of should if you do that, to be honest with you. The damage
He almost gets him.
He
does in the end.
Yeah, he does get one, but it's just, it's a fight that doesn't really need to happen. It's going on over Vision. And that's all it really took for these guys. See, this is why I love the LPL. Sometimes you get slow, like, early game series like that. Sure, there's only been 9 kills in 21 minutes, which, you know, by LPL standards, it's not, you know, it's no hot lap, to say the least. But sometimes you just get fights over Vision, and there you go.
And sometimes you get Wei's Lee Sin, as we're getting a lot of fun from RNG as they just keep trying to put the pressure on BLG, but starting to see that tankiness come alive. Some of those peel back tools for BLG really work out for them. And that front to back team fight nature though, Wei just really wants to kill On at this point. We got the TP coming in from Yagao as he wants to try to find the backline. Breathe will be dodging out of the Shuriken flip. Angel is in the mid lane now, and Wei should be able to get this Scuttle Crab. Here comes Bin though, try to contest a little bit. RNG scattered to the wind.
Gal blew his teleport for a potential re-engage and turn around there, because RNG did go quite deep, but there's just no way to really lock down members in that particular spot for Gal to really sort of recreate what he did to Gala and that previous Dragon fight. So disengages across the board. They'll probably just swap up the lane allocation, put Gal on the top side closer to the Baron, and ensure that Bin is just down here with the teleport where he may be needed. And the reset will likely come out kind of soon, so they can get ready for the Dragon as that spawns in just under 90 seconds time.
And as we do see state of the game now, should be getting our first tower falling very soon. But first and foremost, we got item completion now. Number 2's coming across. We got the Seraph's Embrace completed, upgraded there for Angel. But it is also that PB completed for Elk. We're starting to look at when the late game starts to come online for both sides and where these power points start to crest over a minute until the next dragon spawns here in Virginia.
Yeah, we'll see. Item spikes definitely in across the board. I think Yagao going towards that Shadow Flame needs that in. Really have it. He's just got a rod, so it seems like he won't. Really, really close to it though. On the opposite side, Angel, he's got the Archangels and the Roa stacked. Well, a couple minutes left on the Roa, I beg your pardon. It's the Archangels he has stacked. So RNG are ready to go because they've got that 2-item Lucian as well. And I think it's more going to be about who finds the backline first. Feels like his saw the name of the game here. Yagao removed Gala from the equation in the previous time. Can Breathe do something similar to Elk, lock him down, have Wei come in.
Angel's going to get first tower in the end.
Do the same thing. Yeah, you're right. Angel will get the first tower, but this tower in the mid lane is gone. He was a sneeze away from dying.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. Oh, hello.
Engage. BLG. They
So
found the
it's
backline. Ming's already gone. Angel, though, he's putting down Elk right now. You got to be a little bit careful. Elk with that shield bow, sustaining a lot. RNG, they lose their shot caller. And now BLG are moving into their jungle here, putting a little pressure onto RNG, give them a taste of their own medicine here. As Ben and Bree, they're going at it yet again. Bree's beautifully using the wall here for the grand challenge. He's down. Elk gets the kill.
Elk steals away the 1v1 solo kill. I'm counting that for Bin because he was about to win it. Bree gets stunned up by the riposte there and dies. It's always a mind game. Counter-Strike the riposte. It's a dance. And it's a dance that Fiora has done many a times and Bin has done many a times. Wins out that side lane duel and they get the next dragon as well. So one away from Soul now, BLG. Something that RNG have to be kind of concerned about. It's Chemtech Soul's weird because the Soul itself isn't like really that powerful a lot of the time. It's actually more about the individual dragons. If we take a look at this engage, and we were talking about people being gone.
Really
Ming
good.
Gets taken out before he can practically do anything really, as the rest of the force comes through and RNG just lose too much out of their health bars. Let's get a look at this 1v1 because it went on for a little while. And Bin just takes it, finds the next vital. 2 vitals proc pretty quickly. And I think this Q kind of unlucky to not hit the vital there, in my opinion. Q dodged the wave up the riposte, finds the stun just barely.
Oh, man.
And Elk, sure he gets the kill credit, but Bin was about to find that solo kill. Oh my god!
Yeah, but that's the thing about Zeri. You got that movement speed as, you know, lightning intervenes and all that. But Angel and Gala trying to be the carriers right now with the damage. And that Navori quick play spike, the third item spike for Gala, was trying to be utilized.
Want to. So much damage. Oh, moving forward here. Teleport behind as well.
There's TP behind. This is huge. They're going to TP as well. Chaos across the ranks for RNG. Waves flashing away now, but Ben has chased down Angel. They're locking him down, and here it comes. BLG. They get a kill over for Ben. They try to catch out Gala here. He is just this short-range carry. Has been tanking up a lot of those turrets, but they're on to the Baron here potentially. A lot of movement towards the pit.
It feels like RNG in the last couple of minutes or so just kind of fallen behind in so much map pressure. They're losing out in the side lane 1v1. It feels like they can't stand up to the 5v5 any longer, or the 4v4 either. In this case, it was 5 as now they approach the Baron.
Hostile
down
takeover.
Angel.
Still available. You also have the lightning crash, so tools available. Nothing really there for RNG. We'll see them move a little bit further in. There's a hostile takeover. Gala is actually doing so much work here. Though, they're getting collapsed on now. And the Ultra Shock Laser hits 2 of them. And that signals the end as a double kill comes across for BLG Yagao. And now chases down Gala, says, I am the carry now. Baron to BLG. And honestly, at this point, the control of the game as well.
It's the duo carries of BLG there. Elk and Yagao tear apart RNG in that choke. And frankly, there is nothing they can do about it. They're already in a tough situation, as is. The ultimate from Renata splits them up, and Yagao just has a good angle. Lightning crash as well, clips onto too many members. The Ultra Shock Laser onto 3. And the Shuriken flip brings Yagao back into the fold as Elk goes for the chase down on Gala. It's as beautiful as it could ever be. And BLG pick up everything they need. 2 minutes until the next dragon, 2.5 minutes with this Baron. And this is going to slingshot them ahead. It feels like the game's been so close for so long. And now finally
it's literally, like you said, slingshot. Like, it's just at 2 minutes and there's a soul on the table for BLG. Like, they are already getting 2 third items. They now have that IE completed down there for Elk. And this strength is going to come to a head that I don't know if RNG have an answer to.
That's my big concern, is what, like, if you really try and table the options here for RNG, side lane, you could argue maybe now that Breve has the Blade of the Ruined King, it can edge that 1v1 in his favor, but we've just not seen the isolated 1v1 outside of that one attempt where, frankly, Elk came and interrupted it anyway. And at that point, where do you go? Because the 5v5s haven't been going away either, and now Yagao on Breve.
Let's see if he can get him. A little bit of 1v1 action here. Perfect execution, though. Breathe. He's able to dodge out a little bit more. He doesn't have much health, though. Bah! Yagao He's not even needing to react there. Look at how cool and calm he is. And that's 0-3 for Breathe. And for him against his old team here, not going to be too happy about that, even with all the new members on BLG being there. But RNG trying to collect the ranks here and move into the mid lane together.
Cool, calm, collected, solo, bolo from Yagao on the side lane. As I was talking about, I mean, we were focusing more on Bin versus Breathe as opposed to Yagao going up there and absolutely annihilating him in that one. And now Bin also has the Hull Breaker on top of that, so he's a full item ahead of his counterpart. So that's a side lane matchup, which he's also not going to win now at this point. There should be too many stats in favor of the Fiora as BLG continue to move lane to lane with this Baron and pick up tower after tower.
Should be able to use this pretty well. I mean, only about 30 seconds left. They can get one more catch out because they have all their tools back and available. Again, RNG's plan right now, circle the wagons and make sure nothing happens at this point. Hull Breaker did get completed for Bin though, and you know, they're burning straight through the wagons here, Jamada.
Yeah, they are. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for RNG right now in this game. Oh no. I thought he had vision for some reason. The way that Yagao like so happened to move towards Gala over the wall, it just looked like there was a ward, but there wasn't. So fainted.
Yeah, baited.
I got baited. Yeah, but
baited and outsmarted, Jamada.
You know who has also been baited and outsmarted? RNG this game. It feels like haven't really been able to do much, and it feels like it all stems from that one fight where Gala just dashed too far forward. Got caught out. Now Wei can maybe find a kick.
Wei?
No.
He tries to go for it, but kicks them away instead. And now you got the TP from Breathe trying to make something happen here. But Lightning Crash and Elk is starting a front-to-back fight that is going to go all the way BLG's way. As now it is Breathe that's already gone, a big little side engage tool that they have. And RNG defend, but what will they find on the other side of it? Because BLG are attacking on all fronts.
BLG can do whatever they want in this game. They've got the inhibitor. 5 minutes until Elder spawns. 2 minutes until Baron. So BLG can just set up shop in the top side of the map. They can continue to hold vision past the river line on the Baron side and just siege on that tier 2 on the top side. Let Bin do his thing in both the mid and the bottom side of the map because he's got that Hull Breaker and a BF sword to do as well. So even more AD just to be dealt with on a side lane. As we look at this kick.
That's a really interesting angle.
He's just sent the flash a bit too far forward.
Yep.
Just that inch, but that's all it takes to misalign the Sin kick.
We said execution, man, at the beginning of the day for both these series that we had, but especially this one. There's not that much of a difference, it feels like, in terms of the current strength and the current kind of matchups that we have here. And it was about draft, it was about execution. So far, BLG check marking all of those.
Definitely have been over the side of RNG. And we're kind of at a point where, well, to be fair, I might hold my whole back to the drawing board game 2 just because I've seen weirder things happen. But it's an 8k gold lead, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, what's the adaptation tip for RNG in game number 2? Because to me, I feel like I understood going towards, you know, mid lane here, the Rise for Angel, but having to fall back on the Nami Lucian, you got a big lead, but the execution in the mid game wasn't quite there. So do you try and run it back if you end up on blue side again? Do you just say, you know what, the draft wasn't the issue here. We just got, you know, mechanics and macro gap a little bit. Or do you try and change up the draft? Because I feel like for RNG, especially in their top esports series, I felt like draft was a pretty big issue in terms of how they're actually able to stand up to top esports. Here in this game, I don't necessarily feel like it's as big an issue though, Mazel. So I'm kind of scratching my head wondering where the adaptations will be for RNG. I guess we'll see. But
I definitely think bot lane. I mean, I love Lucian Nami as much as the next guy, but yeah. I think having something that scales, like we're seeing out grab, and having something that gives you a little bit more strength, while we do see the mechanical skill of Gala expressed in the Lucian, I want something with a little bit more safety. But as we do see it, the Baron already started up by BLG. And Yagao will have that Magi's completed now, so a little bit of extra oomph in the tank. BLG sticking on us. On's getting pretty chunked out right now, though.
He is, but
they go for the engage. Misses it.
Maybe not. The Baron's still turning and burning. That's a huge
Oh my god, that enchanted Chris. Oh no, they don't get it. Oh my god, the damage on the backline though, they got Yagao. And they're trying to round warp out of this one. Way does make it away. And now Elk is just running him here. I don't know if Gala can make it out of the corner. He should be able to.
Hey,
Mazel actually looking for a little bit. Oh, hey. Hey, guess what? Hey, guess what? Check space. Oh, hey. Oh, hi, Ben. Hi, MSI 22 champion Ben. Getting a little bit of revenge against his whole team as BLG take game number 1 in this best of 3.
Real nice for BLG and a bit of a half backdoor to finish things off here. This game number 1.
Half backdoor?
Yeah,
So
you know,
half
like
and half,
a fight's going on and it's like, oh, there's a teleport angle, but like it's not a proper backdoor where it catches you off guard. It's just like, yeah, this shouldn't be happening. So it's a half backdoor.